Bushnell, performance is the only thing. Federal Premium Ammunition, surgical precision, terminal results. Savage Arms, better come standard. Gold Tip, start tough, stay true. And these other fine sponsors.
Hi folks, thanks for joining us here at Bushnell's Trigger Effect. This week our pro staff members Chris and Tegan Kitt are heading to sunny Arizona.
They're going to be joining John Stallone's Days in the Wild guide service targeting javelina. So let's join Chris and Tegan as they're heading down to Arizona.
Well, we're about 24 hours away from our flight down to southern Arizona, Tucson to be exact, and couldn't be perfect timing. What do you think there, Chris?
Yeah, we're about 5 below zero, so it's been cold here. We're heading to 20 above zero and might even be hunting in t-shirts, so it's going to be a nice change up for us.
So we finally made it here to Seattle Airport after a long morning. Our flight out of Bellingham was canceled. So we're here, and next route out is San Jose for a connecting flight, and then we'll be heading off to Tucson.
Yeah, we'll be getting in around 9 p.m. Wasn't what we planned, but mechanical problems with the plane. So we had to do about a 2-hour drive from Bellingham ourselves down to Seattle. And now we're gonna head out in about an hour and a half. So yeah, let's grab a coffee and wait it out.
We are on flight 3304 to Tucson.
And what do you have to show me?
I was using the Primos. I was using the trigger sticks to do it as a point, okay, a power point.
Are you going to point?
We hit the massage chairs.
They're not so...
I'm not sure if you can hear the one on my back.
They're not so relaxing. Kind of hurts.
Well, we're on hour number 13 here of our trip. We finally got our last leg to Tucson. Tegan's a little tired. She had a couple naps today, but
had a lot of naps.
I think John's ready for us, and as long as all of our luggage makes it there, we're ready to rock and roll. So
rock and roll for javelina.
2 more hours.
Well, we have finally arrived in Tucson, Arizona. I am super pumped. We've had a very long travel day.
It started at 4 a.m. and as you can see by the clock behind us right now, we're looking at 9 p.m.
So we got to get back to our hotel. We got to meet up with John, and stay tuned, folks, because we're going to have a busy, action-packed morning. Well, we got our morning gear collection checked. Everything is here that we thought we brought. But first things first, coffee. Because it's actually super cold outside. You don't realize it being in the high desert, how cold it gets first thing in the morning and at night. So I am bundling up. I might regret it later, but we'll wait and see.
Morning, buddy. How are you doing this morning? A little rough. Yeah, rough. How'd you guys sleep? It's not bad. Not bad. It was a good 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but we ran into John here when we got here last night. He was a little tired. He'd been up since 2 a.m. Tegan and I did the 17-hour commute, so yeah.
We weren't in the mood for video conversation.
No, we shared two-syllable words, kind of get ready for the morning, but
They asked questions like running.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So John's got the truck fired up, so we're gonna hop in and just get after it. He's was doing some glassing yesterday morning, saw some javelina out there, so we're just gonna get in the truck and get going.
Yep. About an hour drive ahead of us, so.
Yeah, about an hour and 20-minute drive and about a 30-minute hike back into the canyon. So.
Okay.
Right on.
All right, well, let's
get
roll
at
up.
her.
Stay tuned for more hunting action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect after this commercial break. Closed captioning is brought to you by Hunting Consultants Plus, more than just a booking agency. Now, let's return to the action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
So down here in Arizona, it's standard to come in and sign in at this, like it's a hunter sign-in station. Most private lands have them, and it's just to make sure that we know who's coming in and they know who's coming out.
We're gonna head back to the back portion of this canyon. You can see it's kind of like a big bowl. We're actually a little kind of behind. We should have got here about 15-20 minutes earlier. I would have liked to have been sitting down right now to where we're gonna be glassing from, but we'll make the best of it. We're still earlier than I was yesterday when I found them, so let's head up this route. So these are all javelina tracks right here. And you can tell it's javelina because the toes are rounded where deer has sharper. The size isn't really that much different. This is like the size of a doe.
So it's our very first day out here in Arizona, and we've been out here for a good hour and a bit. It's amazing how vast this landscape is. It's dry, it's rocky, it's deserty. It's hard to believe that animals do live out here, but they do, and we're hunting them. But it's just, yeah, this is, not only are we glassing for javelina, but it's just beautiful out here. The sun is just about to come over the rest of the mountains over there, so we should be in full sun in a matter of minutes. But yeah, it's been really good so far. I've seen my first coos deer, so that was really neat.
Further back up the canyon.
John found the pigs, so we're gonna just get up and go and find them.
The Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is proud to present Turkey Talk.
Hi, my name's Melissa and I represented CWTF during the trap and transfer of wild turkeys here in Manitoba. I'm proud to have been a part of history and I'm excited to continue the work here with CWTF and see our efforts succeed.
So as expected, the javelina kind of went down into this little ridge and they went in behind where we can't see them. So John has a plan. We're going to actually get up, we're going to relocate, we're going to come up and around this wash, and then we're going to hike in through the back and try and get a better shot at them. You know, once they're on the move, he says they're kind of hard to slow down. They just keep on going because they're just feeding all day. So we're going to regroup, we're getting our stuff ready, and we're going to head back up and around. See how he's over to moving over to the left, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me see. He's all in the middle.
Yep, he's in the open. All right, Tegan, stand on broadside.
Mm-hmm.
Face it to the right how you want.
Yep.
He's done. Is he? Yep. He's done.
Bushnell's Trigger Effect will return shortly after this commercial break. This segment is brought to you by Westside Stores, your outdoor sports authority. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Finally got down to the bottom of the hill here to retrieve my javelina, and we knew he was in this general area, so we started glassing a little bit up on the hillside because I know they crawl into these little cactus and mesquite brush to kind of lay low, and there he was. He was there, and I'm pumped and I'm excited because it's my first javelina here in Arizona with John Stallone with Days in the Wild outfitting, and I'm so excited. I'm excited for Chris to get his because these things are not easy. Well, John got us on to some action this morning, and I finally harvested my first javelina down here in Arizona. John, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're very welcome. I really enjoy helping people get their first of a different species, and javelina is kind of unique to down south here. It's a fun animal to hunt. It's a mountain hunt. You know, it's different than your typical pig hunt where, you know, people go sit on feeders or stuff like that. It's, you know, this is hunting. You're out here glassing, looking at all these big mountains, and they're a fun little critter to chase.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again.
Absolutely.
Next up is Chris. Stop following me.
Hey, we're hunting.
No, we're not. We're done.
Lethbridge College proudly presents Conservation Connection.
Hi folks, welcome to this week's edition of Conservation Connection at Lethbridge College. Joining me right now is Brad Taylor, who's one of the instructors here at the college, and we're going to be talking about something that doesn't just affect us in Canada, but I know the United Nations Environmental Program even has a convention on biological diversity, and that's going to be our topic of discussion, biodiversity. So Brad, what is biodiversity?
Well, when most people think about biodiversity, it's we usually think of the number of animals. But it actually consists of three things. It's the genetic diversity, it's the species diversity, and it's also the ecological diversity or the ecosystem diversity.
Well, those sound like some pretty big titles. Maybe you can explain to us what is the difference between those two types, or those three types.
Well, the genetic diversity, if we look at just the species itself, it's how much variation there is within the genetics. So do we have lots of big antlers, small antlers, those kind of things, big animals, small animals. Species diversity is the number of critters that we see out there. So the number of birds and bats and bees and ungulates, all those different animals that are out there. The ecological diversity is more looking at the habitat and those landscape characters. So do we have wetlands? Do we have grasslands? Do we have forests? Do we have food sources? Do we have escape terrain?
So I guess the big question would be on a lot of people's mind is, what is the benefit of biological diversity?
Well, that diversity is critical for resiliency, and resiliency is that ability to respond after whether it's a natural disaster or some sort of disturbance event or thing. And we've seen fires and hurricanes and all these terrible things that are going on, native natural events. But how are these populations going to be able to respond? And greater resiliency will allow a greater return to these conditions.
I know I really had the benefit to see a lot of biological diversity stuff firsthand. I sat as a Canadian delegate on the UNEP file, and I think it's something that we should all educate ourselves on, because at the end of the day, this is our planet and we got to make sure that it's biologically diverse. Let's get back to some more hunting action now with Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
For more information on Bushnell's Trigger Effect, visit our website or Facebook. Now, back to the action.
Well, we got another 4 a.m. start here in Arizona. It's our second morning. We came back out to the spot we were glassing in the afternoon. It was really windy yesterday, so we didn't really see much on the hillside, but we know there's some javelina around here. So we came out, I don't know, we're probably half hour before daylight, and we're gonna set up, start doing some glassing and looking for some javelina on the hills. So we went about a half mile down the road. Now we're gonna hike up into this valley. Same old thing, do some glassing. You can feel the temperatures picking up. You can stop doing the shivering dance and see if those javelina are coming out for some breakfast. Ourselves up here. We're probably about 500 yards from these javelina. We're gonna keep on climbing and see where they end up.
More Bushnell's Trigger Effect after these important messages. This segment is brought to you by King's Camo. See the difference. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Well, we made it up to the top here. We're just gonna peek over and see if those javelina took off, or maybe they're just feeding right over the edge here.
I am hoping that they calm down once they got on this side.
Nice. Good job. Boom, we got a javelina down. Javelina down, people. Well, we got ourselves a nice young boar here. It's a 95-yard shot across the valley here. You know, John said, he goes, you know, we can go up and over that hill after they spooked, and he goes, not sure if they'll go too far. So we came around the corner and there they were. There was 5 or 6 of them on there, you know, and all of a sudden you're at 95 yards, which I thought was really cool. So
yeah, it worked out for our favor. I knew we had a chance because this is kind of a bowl right here, and it's a south-facing slope, so it'd be pretty open. We'd be able to see them if they didn't booger up, but it worked out.
Well, your strategy worked. Thank you so much. We've had a blast.
Congrats.
This is awesome. John was telling me the javelina comes from the word javelin.
Yep.
From the javelin teeth that they've got, which is unreal. This one actually, he's a young boar, but his teeth he's actually got some pretty long, skinny, sharp ones.
Well, when they're a little bit younger, like this guy's, he's you know, he's not a baby, but he hasn't worn them down yet.
Yeah.
So that's why they're super long and sharp.
Oh,
so that actually makes a cooler mount.
Well, we came down here with 2 tags. John from Days in the Wild Outfitters. There's our second javelina.
Oh yeah, you guys made great shots when the time came, and you know, made it when it counted, and we got them done.
Yeah, you put us onto the javelina. We saw lots of animals the last few days. The country is just unbelievable, except for the prickles. But we got our second one, and I'm sure we're going to be back. So thanks again for having us.
Yeah,
absolutely. Awesome time.
Again.
Well, Chris, this concludes our week down here in southern Arizona with John Stallone from Days in the Wild Outfitting. We have had an amazing time and we harvested 2 javelina.
Absolutely. It was an action-packed couple of days. We saw lots of animals. We hiked lots of hills. We got stuck with lots of cactuses, but we had a great time and we came back with 2 javelina.
Right on. Well, stay tuned for next week's edition of Bushnell's Trigger Effect. That's a wrap, folks.
A huge congratulations to Chris and Tegan on 2 absolutely amazing javelina.
Yes, it goes without saying, we want to send out a huge thank you to John Stallone of Days in the Wild Guide Service for providing such a great hunt in some stunning country. Now make sure you join us next week for more Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Well, we're on the plane and we're heading back to the Great White North. So long for now, Tucson, Arizona.
Bye-bye, sun. Hello, snow.
Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is a proud conservation partner of Bushnell's Trigger Effect. Taxidermy services for Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
The story.
Oh my word.
See, my arm here looks like my cat had a problem with me. Give her a spin around. Let's see the piggyback. He's piggybacking. This.
On the shoulders.
I'm still standing, even though it's real windy.
Southern Arizona with
This has been a Thunder Boys production.